As someone who works from home in the tech industry and as a digital creator, a great desk setup is a must for me. Not only should it be inviting to work from, but it should also be functionable to be as productive as possible. My previous desk setup lacked a few things which I think I've addressed in this build, so without talking too much, let's run through everything in more detail so that you can see how I managed to achieve a more practical workspace for 2023. Now the main thing that's in this desk setup is the desk itself. Coming from a previous IKEA Mom desk, I really wanted the new setup to be built off something that is sturdy and durable. I noticed in my previous desk the chipboard started cracking a lot easily and pieces were just slowly falling off of it. I also really like the Colby countertop from IKEA, but again they switched that from solid wood to laminate and the depth was a big issue for me. So I did look online and found a local warehouse that sells kitchen countertops and decided to pick up an unfinished solid walnut top and both sanded and treated it myself. Now this is obviously really heavy because it is solid wood, but I do love the look and durability of it, and the good thing is that it is customizable to my own dimensions for my small bedroom. This large and heavy desktop sits on a pair of fully Jarvis legs, and honestly you need something that is both strong and durable to be able to hold up this heavy solid wood worktop. I first purchased a pair of flexi spot legs, but they couldn't really handle the weight and they were damaged, so I wouldn't recommend going for that company if you're looking to do the same thing. Although Fully's legs are a little more expensive, it does come with a 15-year guarantee for peace of mind, and it does also have a solid set of motors to withstand up to 135 kg or 300 pounds of weight. On to what's powering the desk setup now, and I have both a PC and laptop set up and do also occasionally use my MacBook for general browsing. The PC itself is an AMD 5600G CPU, meaning that it doesn't have a dedicated GPU, and it is also running 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM with a 1TB M.2 SSD. Now obviously with those specs for my PC, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I do prefer playing on a console in a different room, so the graphics is really not a big deal for me. Where it may lack though is with video editing, but with all my videos that I make, I edit all of them in 4K footage and it hasn't been an issue yet, so I'm hoping that it is fine for the long run. The good thing of this however is that I still have the option to add a GPU if I do want in the future, and all of those components sit nicely in this slick fractal node case, which is a really nice addition because it's slim and can be put on top of the desk. I used to have a big PC case, but without no GPU there's a lot of wasted space and just took up a lot of leg room, so having it on the desk is a really nice addition. The next device is the HP X360 EliteBook, and there's not much to say about this because it's my work from home laptop that my company has provided. Although it's not technically mine, it's still a very good and solid laptop for the price. It has an Intel i7 chip, but honestly that's not really used as much because I just stay on Teams and MS Office, so yeah, I'm not really using the full potential of that. There's not a lot more to say about it apart from it being solid, and also it does flip 360, which is cool, and is touchscreen, although I barely use both features. To make my creativity workflow a lot more smoother, I decided to mount an SD card reader and a USB mount at the bottom of my desk, and I honestly can't believe that I never did this before, especially considering that I use my SD card a lot. I used to use a cheap reader that plugs directly into the USB port, but I found that it would break a lot due to it being cheap plastic. The extra USBs that come with the dock are good for peripherals and charging stuff like my phone, and now transferring my footage from my camera to PC is literally so easy. The centerpiece of the desk setup is the monitor, and the monitor that I use is a really cheap one that I bought from Amazon a few years ago, but for the price it does the job fine. It doesn't have a high refresh rate or go up to 4K, but for my use case it holds up fine. I can't remember the exact model number, and honestly I wouldn't recommend it because it's not really the best, but I do know that the company name of it is ViewSonic, and their products can be found usually on Amazon or other websites. The big downfall for this for me was that there was no VESA support, which I honestly initially didn't know because I didn't intend to use it on a monitor mount, but what I've managed to do was find an adapter online from a company called Mon9s that goes directly into where the stand goes and just gives you VESA adaptability. Speaking of which, the arm that I went for is a cheap one on Amazon called Envision, and it is a gas supported one. I previously used to have one of those ones which is like a pole that just clamps on the desk, but the adjustability of the gas powered monitor mount is a lot better. The one that I got now is still relatively cheap, but it is more sturdy and supports the monitor really well. Onto the peripherals now, and I want to make a dedicated video about this, so I won't talk a lot about it, but it's a pair that I got from Logitech, which is the MX Keys and the MX Master 3S. Although upgrading peripherals may seem like a small thing, they really have made a big improvement to my workflow. I used to use this really big mechanical keyboard from a company called Royal Kludge that I found on Amazon as well. And not only did it get really dusty because of the massive keycaps, but it both sounded and felt terribly bad when typing. Not only does this combo feel great to type on, but it also looks really good. And I was planning originally to go for the Apple Magic keyboard, but I decided to go with the Logitech due to both of my devices being Windows. I do have one big issue with this though, and that's that both of these use separate USB receivers, although both receivers that came with it can pair multiple devices. So it may seem confusing, but the old receiver that Logitech have is called a unifying receiver, and for this mouse it comes with a bolt receiver, and the keyboard can't actually attach to the bolt receiver, so I have to have two different USB receivers. The mouse mat is by a company called NTMY. I'm not sure what that stands for, but I got this mouse mat from Amazon and it's done the job. It's withstood a few coffee spills, but that being said, it has really been a nice addition to my desk setup. The chair is a generic Herman Miller office chair and was supplied to me again by my workplace. As I work from home, having a good chair is a must, and this is definitely one to go for. In my previous desk setup, I did used to have some generic chair that I think I got from Costco or somewhere, and I didn't really know how important it is to have a good office chair until I got this Herman Miller one. And if you spend like even more than 3 hours at your desk, I think investing in a high quality chair to prevent future back problems is a must. So this is honestly a 10 out of 10 chair, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone, whether you game from your workspace or you work from home. Now the microphone to the left of my setup is another generic mic which I picked up from Amazon, which had a lot of good reviews. I honestly can't remember the exact name of this microphone, but a lot of other brands just basically drop ship the same one. So you can just type in Amazon microphone with boom arm and literally all of them are the same, just with different brands. Now I would say that the actual audio from it does require some post-production work, so be prepared for that if you're going for it. It doesn't sound the best from factory, but to be honest, it comes with everything that you need, including the boom arm, and for the price that you pay, it's a really good option for a lot of people. It is also USB powered, so you don't need any extra interfaces or anything that would just clutter your desk even more. It's just a really simple setup and you can just start recording from the get-go. In fact, this whole video has been recorded with this microphone and edited a little bit in Audacity, so if you wanted a test of the microphone, you have one there. So that's about it from my desk setup. If you have any questions or comments, please do let me know down below. Like the video if you liked it as well, so I know what type of content to make for the future, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video.